mean? What? Direct me, director.
It's live.
Well, who are we talking to? Is this a mic on? Tonia, what's going on? Nobody's here yet.
No, yeah, let's just talk about something, Jeremy.
Tonia, the camera's crooked. Look at this.
I'm just sending right now Zoom link, so just a second.
Cool. Evo, that's rude. All right, Tonia, what's the topic for today?
Yeah, just a second. Sorry, guys, I just was trying to connect to Zoom and everything. Yeah. You have a coffee? Where's your coffee?
There.
Sorry, it's like prayer morning. It's like 10 o'clock and here this time. So, what's
That's
up, Jeremy? How was you doing today?
Nothing yet. But this. It's good.
Yeah. If anybody want to join us in the Zoom, we have a link. I just posted in the YouTube channel. So, and also in the Facebook. So just please join if you want it. Or you can just always send the questions in their YouTube channel on the page and the chat. So yeah, what's up, Jeremy?
I'm gonna grab a coffee quick.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Otherwise, I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, let's. Same here. Just a second. I'm gonna ask you something. You're gonna answer.
Oh, okay. But doesn't one of us have to make coffee?
What happened with Zoom?
Hey, what's up?
Oh,
Hey.
Oh my God, who is here?
Yo, what's going on?
What's up? What is the sound?
We
here?
can't hear you. Oh,
Ah,
there we go.
What's happening?
Now I hear you. Doesn't one of us have to make coffee?
wait 1 second.
Can you hear me?
You have to cancel
Hey,
YouTube.
what's up?
Just a second.
Hey.
Oh my God, who is here? Sorry. Are you
Let's
here?
unmute that window. All right.
Are you here? Okay, now it's better.
Yo.
Long time no see. What's up?
Yo, what's going on? Where you guys at? In the forest somewhere?
Yeah, it's called Sea
You
Ranch.
guys buy a little
California.
house? Oh yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Do you guys live here now?
Yeah, for well these days.
These days, yes.
Just
So
Oh, I see these days.
for quarantine.
Coronavirus.
Yeah.
In the wilderness, protecting yourselves.
Yes, well, we're out here
I'm gonna bring
to
you
enjoy
a coffee.
the trees.
Yeah, dude. What you been up to, man? You look so different. You got some swag.
Yeah, so these days I have a startup called Algo Wealth. So
Okay.
we're doing we're trading currency markets, you know, with algorithms.
Wow. Okay. Are you guys making any money yet?
Yeah, we're just developing version 2.0 right now. Gonna add deep learning.
Damn. That's crazy. That's insane. Well, damn, and you guys are looking to start a channel as well, right?
What's that?
You're trying to start a channel as well.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, this is the live video for that. Say hi to our viewers.
Oh, hello.
So what's up
Look who it is.
Hey guys.
here?
Nice.
Oh my God, look at that.
up?
All Kalimi here.
Yeah, we have a crew now.
Use my background, Jeremy. It's
Yeah.
like it's from Halo.
There you go.
Name right here. It's going up.
Oh, right, that is Halo. I was like, is that Yosemite?
Like Yosemite with the
Nate, no, we're
Kind of
not.
like El Capitan or something.
yeah. That's fantasy, too fantasy for that. But hold on, let me turn it off and like.
Hey, look, ring worlds might be a great option, right, guys? Okay, cool.
My actual room.
Oh wow, you can do that.
Guitars, nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we use Zoom
Red
for
for
my
us
company.
on the camera.
What?
I said, can you play guitar on the camera? Is that?
Of course, yes. Let me get my guitar here.
Yeah, up to you if you want.
I was just
I
playing
think
last
that'd be
night a
fun.
little
Where
bit.
is him right now these days? Night. Where are you live right now these days?
In Texas.
Texas?
Austin.
Cool.
Yeah, Austin, Texas.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I moved out here like right after the boot camp that I took. It was
Do you find a job? You working in these days? In the company?
Yeah, I work at VMware.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah, since about September last year. I was at a startup before that, and we got acquired by VMware.
That's
So
cool.
that huge company life, man. It's definitely definitely the biggest company I've worked for so far. I worked for, like, I was a contractor for CBNI back in 2014, but it wasn't really a full-time gig, so I don't consider it the same. You hear it?
Yeah, nice. Who's gonna sing? Jeremy, you sing. I'll clap.
I don't know the mood yet.
I got some good distortion on it here.
Cool. Jam session.
I don't know how it's coming through, but can you guys hear it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear it nicely.
Nice. Is that a jam or what song is that?
It's similar. It just came to my head. Just a jam.
Oh yeah, cool.
A little bit like Stevie
Freestyle.
Ray Vaughan or like Jimi Hendrix. So now bass guitar is my primary instrument. This is guitar is just like a fun hobby for me that I work on at home. I don't really play out at gigs like I do with bass. So I'll get that out in a second, but I don't really think the bass will come through as well over the over Zoom because of the frequency that it has.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, higher frequencies transmit better, I think.
You have to post the link in their Facebook.
It's cool.
All right. Now, that was a great jam session.
Let's see some bass.
Wow, where are you right now?
Me, I'm in London.
London?
Yeah. Just living my life.
Yeah.
What time?
What are you doing, Nathan? He's like just playing by himself in the corner.
I'm using the I have a pedal here, it's a wah-wah pedal. And it allows you to
Ah.
modulate the pitch.
It's
It
okay. He
modulates
just
the
want
frequency.
to see us. It's okay. It's fine. He just did it.
How it goes like this.
He's
Yeah,
like shy.
it is
you know?
cool though.
Hmm.
Turn that off.
Try to find out.
How's it going with you guys? Give me an update on your life. I mean, it's
Yeah.
awesome that you've been out in SF this whole time, looks like, but where are you
Yeah,
guys
you
at
guys are
right now?
keeping the squad alive. You know, you guys are doing things, right? Like a calling house, right? Like, how many houses do you have?
Yeah, well, right now it's just one. So we started with Walter Street, and then basically
So right now
that's
we
it.
have one house in the Soma district.
Soma. I think
Soma,
I remember
yeah.
where Soma is. Let me look it up on a map.
Yeah.
Dude, we lived in Soma.
Exactly where you was live.
Yeah, like we live there. I should know.
Yeah, Lafayette, right? Lafayette Street. You
I
guys
thought
are
it was
still,
more.
you,
It's like Mission, but Soma is right there too.
Yeah, see, we were
you
living in
guys
the
still,
elbow. That's what I call it. So the elbow is kind of like Soma is there, and it's the end of Soma, and then it's the beginning of the Mission, and then the Castro's on the other side. And I call that the elbow because it looks like an elbow. But
Yeah.
I'm the only one. So I'm trying to get it started. You got to call it the elbow, guys.
Mhm.
damn. Do you guys ever go there, Lafayette? Does anyone live there still?
Yeah, is that place still open, Tonia? It's been a while since I walked by
I
there.
can sleep.
I think I can sleep these days open different a lot of different locations these days. And that location, I think they closed because it was not profitable, how I know. Yeah.
Hey guys.
And
Yeah.
Interesting.
I don't see how you get
Hey,
it profitable.
what's up?
oh my god. I think it's like all the Kaliming gonna show up here and like
Oh yeah,
the
that's
Kaliming
the plan, right?
2016 to 2017, right? Isn't
There's
it?
like different generations joining you guys.
Hey
Yeah.
Val, how's it going?
Yeah,
Wait, no,
what's up?
that's when we were there too. How's it going? When were you in?
Yeah, I
in
think
SF?
so. Daly City?
No, I
No,
was
the other one.
No, he
at
was Larkin.
at Hack and Sleep, yeah. Larkin.
Oh, I think I remember you. What's your name?
Gleb.
Gleb. Yeah, that's right. You were at the Daily City. We came down there and partied
No.
with you
Oh,
guys.
he was at the
No,
other
no,
one. I think it was where the
Larkin Street.
Oh, Larkin.
Mm,
That's the big one with like 3 floors, right?
2 floors. It was 2 floors. Delhi City has like 3 floors that time, but Gleb is from that place. Hey, what's up,
Is it still
Canada?
around?
How's the Canada over there? Are you in Canada?
No, I'm in Paris.
You're in the Paris. Okay.
Yeah.
How's the Paris these days?
Yes.
I just sitting in Paris in the apartment, you know?
Paris is on lockdown. We're fully shut down. Can't leave the house. Need to sign like papers proving, like promising that you're only on like grocery shopping or mental health walk. Otherwise, you get a huge fine.
Wow.
Mental health walk. You can walk for mental health.
Yeah, you can. You can go for a walk to.
There is a military in the street or just the police?
I've seen cops, but they say that they're supposed to be military as well. But I haven't seen any, just cops. But a lot of them. Sometimes it's like
They
trucks.
have like the stick thing where they'll just beat you with a stick if you like run and you go outside your house.
Yeah, banana.
Well, they'll ask for your papers first. They're like, papers, please. And then you don't have the paper,
Then the sticks come out.
Yeah, probably.
Paper? What kind of paper?
So they are using sticks in.
It's
like those batons, right? The batons, I
Batons.
think they call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, batons.
the paper. Let me read out
I
what
think
it
it's only
says.
China. I think people do carry them, but I don't know.
Yeah,
They'll use them if
I
you-
do believe that these days the police and the military have to use sticks or something, how it was in China.
Yeah, only in
Like-
China though.
Like literally like,
Civilized countries don't need that, in my opinion.
because the people crazy.
No,
People
I was
like,
reading like
it's like I guess like
reading like
the
an
last couple
article.
weeks I'm watching like how it was in a situation, for example, in Israel. Then Israel has said like, okay guys, nobody works, and everybody went to in the street, like make like parties, like everybody in the beach, everybody to have fun. Same with the Moscow and Russia these days. Like it was literally like Russia only right now says, okay guys, nobody works, just please stay at home. Everybody went out in the streets and hang out, like blah blah blah. It's
Yeah,
just
well, the problem in
insane.
those countries specifically is an information problem because the government isn't really communicating to the people, hey, this is a big deal,
Yes.
here's what you need to do.
Yes, and I saw a lot of comments like who Russians just still posting some like bullshitting, say, oh no guys, don't believe it, it's so bullshitting, like blah blah blah, the coronavirus does not exist, just like blah blah blah. I was like, okay, this is why and these days in New York right now in the streets, people starting build morgues, like the morgues, like morgues,
Yeah.
right? Like literally
That-
morgues.
Yeah.
That many people are dying though. I feel like our death count
No,
is
they prepared, like, so right now New York really prepared and in 2 weeks, so they're literally starting. There's some people, some videos on YouTube you can find out there, the guys making a video from the car that's like a lot of streets and a lot of places, like they literally bring a lot of fridges they're gonna put the bodies, like really dead bodies, and they're everywhere in New York, and it's like it's crazy. And I
Yeah,
think
so
it's,
the whole
Did you
point is
hear
that-
what's going on in Italy? Like in Italy, they
Yeah.
said like people don't have any money anymore because the lockdown has been so long. People are running out of money. They're like calling police to ask for money. It's crazy. It's like people breaking into supermarkets, people robbing, people offering to kill other people for money. That's insane.
of course,
Crazy.
of course. This is why this kind of country they need military, because military gonna control everything, like these kind of things.
but we
yeah.
hate that. Like as Americans, we're so resistant to any kind of like government overreach or police state, especially coming from like, you know, the more libertarian persuasions. We're like, I'll always have like an aversion to that, even if it's a crisis situation, like causing me to shut my life down and threatening violence if I refuse to abide by the rules. It rubs me the wrong way. It always will. I know
Well,
China.
you gotta remember, Nate, that like when it comes down to like anarchy, you know, you gotta have that's definitely a more hostile situation man to man, you know. So it's it comes with trade-offs. Like you don't want to be protecting your life with weapons. That's like a big deal. So the point is that having military force is one way that you can give up some liberties to
Hey, I'll always protect myself with weapons. That's the right to bear arms, man.
Well, so there you go, right? You're prepared. So
yeah, I trust myself more than the rest of the
Because
government.
they're from Texas,
Stance,
right?
right?
And it's not a
it's more common in Texas, right?
Yeah.
To have, you know,
Yeah,
that-
everybody's got guns here.
yeah.
I bought a handgun recently, and it hasn't come in yet. Like I ordered it from the store, and the gun store just emailed me and said, "Hey, it'll be here when it gets here." It was like right when the crisis was hitting too, so
Right.
they're probably doing a lot of business right now. They're busy.
Yeah.
That's a good investment, honestly. They say,
They're running out of ammo.
yesterday I watched this.
Yeah, ammunition too is like running out. They keep having to stock it more and more because people are like, all the preppers are freaking out. They're saying like this is the end, the apocalypse scenario. So they're going out and stocking up on weapons and food.
weapons.
But I'm not into that. I bought like 5 rolls of toilet paper and that's it.
I think that's responsible because the thing is that everybody who stocks up too much is really reducing the supply for everyone else.
Yes, definitely.
Makes it worse at the end of the day.
Here it's hard to find eggs and milk right now. You have to go to the big stores, but there aren't so many, and there's long lines because they only let like a certain amount of people in so that people keep their distance. So if you want eggs, you got to wait like an hour in line, which is
Wow.
also like a
And it's
risk.
kind of not, it's not safe to stay online if it's like
No.
people can be sick and
I
everything.
stood in line today, like for like 15 minutes. Everyone's like wearing masks. It was just crazy. You feel like you're in an apocalypse movie. Or like even the feeling is eerie. You know, it's like it's weird. You know, and you're like afraid not to touch anything. Like I go for the can like of Red Bull. I just take it at the very back. You know, so like no one touched it. Like it's crazy. It's mad.
That's true.
Here the
And
streets are empty. It's really really quiet. Like
mhm,
Friday night, we go out for like a minute at 9 in the evening, and it's
mhm.
just every street is a ghost town. It's
Yeah.
kind of it is eerie. That's the right word.
All right, we got next KCD.
Check out this XKCD for the day for today. It's pretty funny.
6 foot zone. It's a guide. Nice.
How many horses can you fit in with you?
I see 8 horses. This is the guideline.
Yeah, keep an 8 horse.
8 horses.
Keep an 8 horse bubble around you at all times.
Wait, technically now it's a 34-foot zone. Is that true? Have they updated the guideline to 34?
Where do you see that?
So that's the hover text. If you just leave your mouse over it, then it pops up.
Technically now it's a 34-foot zone. Yeah, I guess so.
It's crazy.
Hell, I don't abide by that. I mean, I've been inside my apartment. I've gone to stores and like grabbed food from people who were serving me food from like the drive-through window, and that's been just like a person-to-person interaction, probably 2 or 3 feet difference. So I haven't even done the 6 foot zone. Probably got the Rona.
Yeah. I mean, I think that every time that you do it helps, but yeah, like it's pretty tricky to be 100% on that stuff.
I think even being 90% is a huge help if everyone is like 90% of the guidelines.
Right, that makes sense. If everyone's 90%, or everyone just does as best as they can, right?
Yeah.
That's what matters. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. What are you doing this
So
day?
I'm starting an agency like with another friend I met 3 years ago in Colombia. We tried to start a travel company, but like it never worked out. You know, this
Okay.
app I used to work on. Do you guys remember?
Yeah, yeah.
Like
It
it
looks
never. No, like even like in the beginning, like it never worked out. So like everything been crashing down. But like now we're trying to start an agency and trying to look for clients. And as a first project, what we wanna try and do is do like a PR campaign. So we're gonna design an app for coronavirus. Then we're gonna find engineer volunteers to go ahead and build it. So we'll just go on LinkedIn. We'll get product managers. We'll get engineers, like Flutter engineers, and we'll build like an app like in a week, 2 weeks. I'll go ahead in this next week, come up with a prototype and just do something fun, you know, and see where it gets us. Just get some PR and just do something cool, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that sounds great. Like, I mean, depends on the app. Like, it could even help out somehow. And yeah,
Yeah, so
Flutter's really
what
cool
we're
too.
thinking is have like an app and the user types would be volunteers and those who are looking for help. And it would be more like a map-based type of app. So you can actually report symptoms. You can describe what kind of symptoms do you have, or you can actually even report death in your house, because a lot of people can't even call like healthcare systems because like they're just so under pressure.
Right.
So it could be, and you can also even report for help. Maybe you can report like you need a spare bed, or you could you need financial aid, or maybe you can't walk and you're sick, so you need someone maybe to buy groceries for you. And so you can make a post and you just like add like a pin on a map, you confirm your address and you write your help and you specify it. And then people in your area can see it, and then they can tap on your location, on your bubble, and then they can just directly message you. So it's like a really simple map-based app, but it's like a chat, and people can help each other like that, So
yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
amazing. That sounds like be really helpful, because I know a lot of people would like to volunteer somehow, and they just literally don't know how to help out. But something like that makes it easy to crowdsource help. You know.
Val, for you, is that app like after coronavirus is over and after this crisis?
No, like right now, like we're starting like this week. We have the first meeting on Tuesday, so we're gonna do this like really quickly. I'm gonna design it in 1 week. I'm just right now working on the key features, requirements. I'm just doing my research, making sure I understand the user's needs correctly, and just create a quick diagram, wireframes, quick UI, and then I'll just make an open letter on LinkedIn. Me and my co-founder Grant will just keep pushing this, and I feel like this could have like a really huge like PR impact as well. So we'll just like message like journalists and bloggers and just kind of spread the word and just see where this thing takes us, you know? And it's all volunteers, so you know there's no money involved. There is like passion right on the side, and I think we can definitely recruit a lot of developers. Like there's really big communities on Slack for Flutter, for Supernova Studio. There's so many hungry junior designers, developers just looking to build their portfolios as well. So it will be perfect, I think. Well, we'll see how it goes.
So kind of using the project as a means to bring awareness and also like gather talent to your agency.
Yeah, and it's kind of scary, you know, because we don't really have any experience working with clients yet. I've been like contracting for the past 2 years for like as a designer, as a freelancer, but together we don't really have that experience yet where we can take on a really big project for like 20-30,000, and then we like commit to something like this and then we fuck up, you know. This could have like huge problems for us. So this could be like a really nice warm-up, you know, project just to see how we work together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I've got an interesting project I'm doing, just started too. My friend Michael is an entrepreneur and he doesn't write any code. He's never been a coder, but he lives in San Francisco. So he's had coders work for him for his startup ideas. I think he had one that he worked on for a year, but it didn't go anywhere. He just started a new thing, and it's a scraper. It's a web scraper tool that comes as a Chrome extension, and you can use any website with it, but it wraps it in a toolbar and lets you search, click an element on the page, like let's say LinkedIn titles and names. So you click one of the names and titles, and then it selects all of the names and titles on the page that like match the same HTML and CSS. It's a CSS like selector algorithm that figures out what kind of that identifier is, and then it copies that. And anyway, it's being used for 5 stars, and they're talking to a couple of businesses about that. But it's literally just him, and he has one coder, one developer, and the developer is a college, like hasn't even graduated college. He's in school right now, and he's working on this on the side. So he got me to sign up and be kind of a part-time, like offer my expertise on the front end where I can. So helping out with that. So that's just literally, he's had no professional developer talent for this whole year.
Are you like praising him, or like you're trying to put him down?
I'm just saying it as an
really
example.
cool,
because I don't know. I think it's impressive what he's been able to do. They have a pretty good little MVP for a product, and like it already works. I can give you the link and let you to try it. But
I was gonna say, like, that sounds beautiful. Like, I might use that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen a product demo that does exactly what you're describing, but I'm trying to find it and I can't seem to.
Yeah, I've heard of some other tools that do something like that, but yeah, I'd love to try that one. But yeah, Val, if you just let me know, I'd love to help out on your project however I can, because that's really cool, and it's like a way to, I think, help with this crisis. So
yeah, dude, once I'm done with the wireframes and UI, I can send you like my work and just see what you guys think. And
yeah,
if you want to join, I'm happy, because you'll probably need help in all areas anyway. You know, any help you can get.
Yeah, like if there's a GitHub or something, like I can make a couple commits and just help out, do some code reviews or something. Because
yeah, definitely. And I'm also using, so from Sketch with the UI, I'm like using Supernova Studio, and that tool lets you convert design to code. And so for the past month, I've been building a portfolio for our website. And I've been just like trying to figure out how the whole thing works. And I've been already learning how to code Swift. So it was really really easy to change for me because I already know the fundamentals. And yeah, like now, like the portfolio is up. There's still some tweaks to make, but now I can really easily design apps and build them out. And then I can just do like a skeleton, and then I'll need people like to work on the back end pretty much, just like with Firebase, like the login system, just like Bluetooth and location, because I think that will be important as well. Like little things, you know.
So
that's
like Swift now, like.
Like yeah, dude, I know everything now. I feel like I'm trying to
like a
understand
unicorn.
everything there is. Yeah, that's it. But dude, it's thanks to you and Nathan, man. If it's not up to you guys, I would have never ever even started to code. Because I think you or Nathan said like you should just like learn to code, you know, like, and I like that always stayed with me, you know, and I followed through. You know?
Well, it helps for me that I started to meet people and like research people that were coding and that I actually thought were decent people, like they were cool people, and they weren't just like the stereotypical image in your head that you have for a developer, which is back in the day, you know, big glasses, polo, like big ass shirt. That's just like works in a basement, nerd. I mean,
I'm a stereotype, but don't look at me.
No, you break this.
No, Nathan. No, Jeremy's perfect for Silicon Valley.
I like to say I combine the Jobs and the Wozniak. You know, I have the right blend of both.
Jobs and Wozniak. Yeah. Dude, I just watched that movie. I just watched the movie, man. It's crazy on Netflix. The one with Michael Fassbender. So good.
Right. Yeah.
Although it's like, I'm curious if you've seen that movie. Have you?
I haven't seen the one with Fassbender. I've seen the old one, like Pirates of Silicon Valley.
That one's good. That one's good too.
I want you to watch that one. Watch the one with Fassbender, and then tell me what you think about the portrayal of Steve Jobs in that, because they've made him a psychopath in that one. Like they just made him the biggest asshole that you could imagine. And
well, have you guys read his biography?
No.
Oh, that's worth a read. I mean, when you read the biography, you see that he is kind of an asshole.
Yeah.
I feel like also
like kind of an asshole.
I have no doubt he was an asshole, but like I think one example in the movie, he had his baby mama, his like chick that he knocked up and had a daughter with. She brings the daughter in and tries to get him to pay for her school or something, and then he says no. He denies even being the father, even though he took a paternity test and it said like that he could have been the father, probably was. He said there was a quote in the Time magazine and in the movie, I'm not sure if it was real, where he says 28 million men in America could have been the father. Some shit like that, meaning like the girl's a slut.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got to do more of my own research in terms of that, but there's no doubt what he was able to accomplish.
Right. I mean,
everyone has their own issues, you know. Everyone has insecurities and stuff they deal with, you know. But it's like that's just one side of you, you know.
Absolutely. But yeah, that was an interesting movie. It was a very fast-paced, like the dialogue is super quick and snappy, and he's like always got a smart answer for everybody. It's really good. Most of the scenes in the movie are like his presentations, like backstage before the big Apple presentation for like the Mac 1 and like the Mac 2 after he rebooted it after getting fired. And
what's the best scene for you? For me, it's like when he closes the deal, you know, the first investor. That's like my favorite part.
When he what?
Like when he closes the deal, you know, like with the first investor. That's my favorite part.
Okay.
What's yours?
I'd probably have to say in the boardroom with the rain coming down, and he's making his case for if I get fired, I'm gonna make every single board member on this board vote to fire the CEO of Apple so he can like take over.
Yeah, that's good too. What about you guys? What have you been up to? Like, what else? Like, why did you start your YouTube channel? Like, what's the purpose? What's the goal?
What's the goal, Jeremy? Tell the goal.
Well,
Actually,
do you
this
wanna
was
talk
my
about it?
idea. And I think
Yeah.
it's important these days as you're like on YouTube channel, especially if you're doing some kind of like businesses and on all those like kind of things. So just like,
Mm.
and then I just found out that Jeremy is like literally talking sometimes on the phone with someone and give like some cool like advice and everything. I was just like, hey, like just like I'm gonna record you all the time because of like sometimes you're gonna give like a lot of like cool advice and everything, and I think people have to hear about this kind of things. You know what I mean? And at the same
Yeah.
time, like I just found out that's like there is no good people who has a YouTube channel and give some advice or information about Silicon Valley these days. You know what I mean? And it's you know what I mean. There's how to start a business or how to raise your money for a startup, something like that. You know, and I think it's kind of like
Yeah, it's a good way to build following,
cool,
isn't
you
it?
know. Yeah, and that was Jeremy. Jeremy's like,
Build for
okay.
potential customers.
Yeah, and then I just bought a camera, bought the lights. I was like, there we go, you know, like now just let's talk about this subject. And Jeremy's like, okay, let's talk. And I'm just, you know, so yeah. So
Plus,
what
you
it-
guys
what-
are just like funky and cool to look at. Got a great background there. What is that background?
Yes,
that's-
this is a live background, you know.
Is
It's
their
not
actual house?
What is that green
Yeah.
screen you got? It's
Oh.
awesome.
Redwood Forest, you
No,
know, we're
I was kind of like
Northern California.
Wait, is that a
3 hours
background? Is
outside
that
of San Francisco.
it's not the
Oh,
real
sorry, go ahead.
forest? It's not the
Yeah,
real
It's real,
forest?
Val. It's real. They actually live there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here,
Sorry.
I'm
Okay.
gonna like take the computer on like a nice little tour. So see, Tonia's
I feel like it's that place.
Whoa, Antonia just went outside.
yes. So this is like a real forest.
There's
Are
like
you guys always living there, or is
Yeah.
it just for the
called the Sea
coronavirus?
Ranch.
It looks like Lake Tahoe in the
Yeah.
summer.
yeah, it does.
You know, like that hotel we stayed at. It looks kind of.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I.
yeah.
When
Yeah,
did you guys go there?
You
Was that
moved
post
you moved-
after me
so
or while I was there?
now, so right now we live between San Francisco and here, and we have this house starting from November 2018, I believe.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I'll
and we
you guys
just
in a second.
half of time we just spend here, and half of time is spending time in San Francisco. And it's actually a cool place. It's just like just chill and work. Because of we work in like remote these days, so we can be like anywhere. And it's kind of cool. It's just like 2 minutes walk to the ocean. And here is like redwoods around us. This like you're gonna see it's like redwoods. Everything like this not redwoods, but like all these trees around is the redwoods.
Yeah, the best.
The tall ones.
And
Yeah.
and some trees like really big. If you walk in the forest, like you know, like redwoods, how it can be. So
They're the
I
tallest
visited-
trees in the world.
I visited one of the redwoods that had like a hole in it. You could drive through the tree.
that's exactly.
Gleb's party, and he's got the Stella. I like
Yeah, well, it's 7
Stella.
p.m. here, so I'm allowed
Right.
We have coffee, you
Yeah.
know.
coffee.
Actually, yeah. Can I make more coffee?
Irish
I'll
coffee.
bring you coffee. I'll
Okay.
bring you
coffee.
All right.
Where's Val? Val left, it looks like.
Did we lose him?
He said he
Yeah.
was going out for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
but so
see.
you guys got a place up there. How long have you been living there?
Yeah, so it's been about a year and a half almost that we've had this place, and we do kind of like we split it. So sometimes we'll be in the city, and then sometimes we'll come up here for like a week.
Mhm.
And so kind of half and half.
I
When
actually
you're
I
in-
make one video. It's like a vlog. You can find out in our YouTube channel. It's about the sea range. Yeah, there's like kind of like I just make some like drone flies around, and so you can just find out this video.
Yeah,
and
check
just
out our channel.
look at it.
There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
video there.
It's about a syringe. Yeah.
Okay. What's the name of the channel?
3 Commons Club.
3 Commons Club.
Here, we gotta put a
3
link
Commons Club.
in the Zoom.
You have to put in, not in the Zoom. I mean, you can put in. Yeah, it's.
All right, let's see.
The Silicon Valley reference.
Yes, sir.
No, you'll see.
3 Commons.
Yeah, you'll see Jeremy over there. Yeah.
That's awesome. Oh yeah, nice. Okay, yeah, I'll subscribe. That way I'll get all of the videos.
Yeah, Gleb, you're subscribed already, right?
I think I am. I know Geraldine is subscribed. She shows me clips when she watches it in the morning.
Awesome.
I gotta catch up though. I don't think I've seen the latest.
Gleb, what are you doing these days? Are you working?
I'm at a startup here in Paris. We build a platform online that helps university students meet with professionals to get a better idea of their career orientation. So it's a 45-minute like coffee date kind of thing where the student comes in with some questions prepared to try and understand what the individual does on a regular basis at their job, to kind of have a more personalized idea of what a specific job title actually represents in the office. Because we have a lot of students in like business schools or engineering schools, and they hear like these words that are supposed to mean something, but it doesn't necessarily translate into what the tasks are in order to accomplish that person's job are. And so by having these short meetings, whether they're in person or over the phone, we hear that a lot of students actually end up finding a job that they are interested in, instead of taking the first job that is offered to them because they think, oh, I'm finally going to make money, this is going to be awesome. And then after a year, they realize that they're miserable, and if they leave, then the company loses money because they just trained someone who's no longer bringing in value. And the student also loses like a year of their life where they're not gaining relevant experience for their career. So our goal is ultimately to make sure that people enter the job market and know already what to expect. So this is kind of something that is in addition to maybe an internship, or they have like these year-long traineeship programs here in France. But this is supposed to give you more control as a student to actually carve your own path. Because an internship is a big commitment, but a 45-minute like call with someone is very low commitment, and it's free. So yeah, we're on the like awesome. Kind of social good.
Say, like, how does it monetize, or is it actually? You said social good, so is it a nonprofit or?
Yeah, no, we are like for profit. Our business model mostly revolves around on the business side.
Oh, you cut out, Gleb. We can't hear your mic.
The sound disappeared.
Still no sound. Is it our side? Nate, say something.
Yo.
We can still hear you.
Yeah.
So it's just Gleb's mic. All right.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, doesn't work, Gleb.
Oh, I don't know what happened. Talking. All right, I'm gonna get coffee and then Tonia, talk to Nate.
Antonia. So listen, I was just looking up some stuff on what I was talking about before, the Steve Jobs movie. And I'm looking at the interviews because they portrayed him as such a prick in the movie. I had a feeling that it was really overblown, and they may have taken some liberties with it and stretched the truth a little bit. And yeah, most of the people that they interviewed said that he was much nicer than that in real life than he was in that film.
I did hear that the portrayal of Jobs in the movie was a little off.
Yeah,
that must be that they overdid.
Dude, that's an understatement, man. Like the way he shits on Steve Wozniak, like every time they talk together, is crazy. But it's definitely
Jeremy. Where did you guys travel to? Like, I seen you guys been traveling to some places. Is it like mainly around California, or is it any other countries too? You've been to Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Or
yeah, so we did travel recently to Mexico. So we actually went near Puerto Vallarta. So that's on the west coast of Mexico. So it's like a nice plane trip from San Francisco. But there's this little town outside of Puerto Vallarta that's like up the coast, and it's called Sayulita. And so we were there for a few days,
So
got some sun.
in that place you can find like houses in the jungle. So I literally find the hotel. It is only like 5 bungalows in this hotel, and it's literally in the jungle. And it was, of course, it was like, wow. Then we just show up there. Jimmy's like, Jeremy,
wait, was this your first time leaving? You didn't go anywhere else before, did you? Like
no,
outside USA?
Yeah, because of Jeremy was working, and I was just I was busy too, and then like we just decide now going to travel, and everything happened, you know what I mean? And we were thinking actually go in April to Canada for Whistler, for the Whistler Festival for snowboarding, you know. Such a actually kind of like cool events in the April in the Whistler. There's a lot of people going there. There's like plenty of music and everything.
Is it still happening? Because of the
no, it's not gonna. Of course, not gonna happen. No. Of course, it's everything canceled. Everything canceled, of course.
Yeah.
And it was actually a plan to go Whistler the April. Then I was thinking to go in Spain this summer, May and June, but because of Jeremy's co-founder lived there in Canary Islands, so I was thinking to spend there like some time, but now like I don't know.
No, we're still gonna go there. We're gonna, because summertime will be better. For sure.
We'll be back
we wanted to like
April. Before the end of April, man, we'll be back at it.
Yeah,
we wanted to like travel with you guys for a while. Like we kept reaching out to you, you know, every time me and Nathan planned something. Yo, we should hit Jeremy up, you know, with Antonia.
We wish we
see what these guys up to.
Next time. Like it's been, I think, 2 different trips you guys did, and it just didn't work out for some reason.
What do you guys did?
We got to do another one.
Yeah.
We can.
We wanted to do Australia, but like it didn't work out for me. Like the contracts here, like so basically there was like this tax reform here, and like all companies fired all contractors. So I had to like basically start looking for a job. Basically, had to cancel everything. So Nathan went basically solo, but we had to go together. I bought tickets, like everything.
Yeah,
so
I
guess it's more of a.
What happened, so what happened again? Like with the contractors, was it just your company, or what happened?
Yeah, so basically there was like this law called AR 35, and there was like this tax reform, and basically the government wanted self-employed people who have their own limited companies to pay the same tax as employees. But like companies, like contractors don't get like the same benefits. They don't get anything, you know, because you're just a contractor, you're not the employee.
Right.
And like a lot of people were mad, you know, but the tax reform was about to happen in April. So all the companies were preparing and started firing everyone because of uncertainty, and everyone started switching to perm jobs. So like overnight, it's like the boom, like there's no work anymore. And it was just like, and then the coronavirus started happening too at the same time. You know, it's like everything kind of fell apart, you know, it was kind of shit. So now I'm just hustling, you know. But before that, like we went to Peru together. Where else did we go? Then a year before that, we went to Paris. No, Nathan came to London. Then we together went to, where did we go? To Barcelona. Mallorca. Then we went to Mallorca, Paris. Yeah. Then there was this other girl that joined us. I met her like 2 weeks before that in Santorini in Greece. And now we're still friends with her to this day. And Nathan stayed with her as well in Australia, hanged out with them. So it was really cool.
That is cool.
Awesome adventures.
What's up, Toye? Are you on?
Yeah. What's going on? I don't know if I could be be heard.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh wow, this is cool. Okay.
You have a camera? You can join us in on video.
All right, let me figure out how to do that.
Yeah, do it.
Yo, by the way, I plugged in a mic. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, super
Yeah.
loud.
Oh, we hear you, Gleb. Yes, that's great.
Yes, I'm back. Great. Had to bust out the old webcam.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah, there you go.
Dude, I remember you, I think.
This is cool.
I think I met you once. Or maybe I didn't.
Tell me, Toy. I don't know.
I don't
Me?
think so.
No,
Oh,
probably
yeah,
not.
'cause
Are you
Toye
the
is,
French guy?
Just tell the story.
I'll tell the story because I'm the connection. So I met Toye at the 10X conference. That was
Miami.
like not this one, but the last
What,
one.
at Grand Cardone's?
Yeah, Grant Cardone's. So,
No way.
Great Cardone.
yeah, so
Yep.
that's where we met. And he's a developer. Well, you want to talk about what you're doing, Toya? What you up to lately? Yeah.
Yeah, developer too. Recently, we had a talk, Jeremy, a couple months ago. I took your advice, and then from there started doing different contracts. And I think I realized something about myself while doing that. I think for me, that's not the path that I want to go down. But I'm glad, like from the advice you gave me, like I was able to like try that out for myself. I thought that was pretty dope.
That's cool, man. Yeah. Well, so I guess what was it about it that you feel like it's not for you? I'm just curious.
Um, I wasn't getting like much enjoyment out of it.
Okay.
Like
Yeah,
I felt like I feel like for me when I develop, I feel like I need to be on the creative end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
maybe
having more input, maybe.
not necessarily developing is where I need to be at. I feel like maybe I need to be more on like the architecture end of things,
Interesting.
where I wasn't really getting like the full authority to do that kind of stuff. So I kind of
Right,
just
like ownership, like having more ownership over the project.
So did you want more ownership of the like engineering aspect or the product aspect?
both. Like even when I had certain recommendations, didn't matter. In terms of like architecture, like okay, what do you use, AWS or another cloud platform? I some situations I didn't even have a say.
I see.
So how long were you freelancing for?
Not long. I would say like 4 months. What about you guys? How tell me a little bit about you guys. I'm kind of yeah, I don't really know anybody except for Jeremy and Tonia.
Well, my name's Gleb. I'm a backend developer.
Nice.
I met Jeremy when I was living in SF did 2 internships there. But now I've graduated and moved on, living in Paris right now. So life is pretty good except for this Rona thing. That's kind of throwing a little wrench into my cultural absorption of Paris, but it's still nice. It's really like nice springtime right now, so I get to look out the window, see the sunshine.
Nice.
Get that away from that camera.
Yeah, we got a product placement here. It's not a sponsor, but it is a personal recommendation. Soylent is the best meal made from people that you can get on the internet delivered to your door.
I thought this was the best meal made for people.
Correct.
Oh, damn.
Stella's made for people, but Soylent is made from people. So that's the difference.
From people.
How do you
like
spell that,
or
John?
what? That sounds cannibalistic.
And let me, yeah. So I'm gonna elaborate on what I'm saying. So it's a joke. Soylent Green is basically like a food product from this movie, and it's like a sci-fi movie, like sci-fi horror kind of from like the 80s or something. And basically, like people were eating all like this food, science like food, and it was made out of people in the movie. So.
So they find out
So
later
then
on.
Soylent, they make drinkable meals, and they decided to call it Soylent. So
Yeah,
straight
I
out of
drank
the
it while I was in San Francisco. It
Uh,
definitely got me through those 2 months when I was there. Every morning I
Okay.
would have one.
Yeah.
And it's a cheap option, cheap alternative to eating real food.
Yeah. There's nothing like real food though.
Yeah.
Only some
Yeah.
crazy like engineers like me would be like, oh, you know, it's so efficient. I'll drink it. Like I don't mind the taste. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's so costly.
This is good. I like it. This is like doesn't have
You
any.
like it?
I mean, I like this one because of this. It
You
doesn't
like-
have any like flavors.
Really? You like the plain?
I literally
No.
how much is Soylent paying you guys?
No, we don't get any. I mean, we're gonna once we have 1,000 or more subscribers, we can start to
No,
do
it's just-
paid placements.
It's like 10 o'clock. This is my breakfast. It's
Sponsorship.
really my breakfast because I'm like, I don't have time right now to cook. Should I just cook something? I don't know. Just this is easy. Just drink, you know.
That's the
I
thing.
feel like kind of cosmonaut, you know, these days.
yeah,
Have you tried the coffee? There's a coffee flavor, I think.
there is. They have coffeeist. It is the most coffee flavor. It's not bad. It's okay. Like I would say that all of them are not bad. They're all okay. You know.
There's a drink
the
called
Burning Man,
Super
I
Coffee
remember.
that I really like. Anyway,
And the Burning Man, like 2 years ago, it was Jeremy bought like a lot of this Solent, and after the
Well, did you
Burning
go to Burning Man?
oh, you went?
Yeah,
Yeah. So we went to Burning
Yeah.
Man. Was
Dude, you gotta tell us. Tell us about it.
2018.
Yeah, it was. So what was your experience, Tonia? I mean, I know your experience. I'll talk about it first
Yeah.
because I know like Tonia, you've done some camping before, right? But nothing for like 10 days in a survivalist situation. So Burning Man is a unique experience. Is like literally people go and build a city in the desert for like 10 days and then they tear it all down. It's pretty crazy. It's like 80,000 people or something in this city in the desert. And so you drive in and it's like you're 8 hours just in the line because there's like a 1-lane road and every 80,000 people is trying to get in first couple of days. And so you go in and we had a big van because we're carrying a lot of stuff for our camp. And yeah, it was crazy. Like, so we had our tickets, right, to get into Burning Man. I had put them in a safe place behind a seat. And then we literally couldn't find them. So we're like, wait a minute, where are the tickets? Where are the tickets? So we had to pull over to the side of the road and like take everything out from the van and look in the whole van behind everything. And we were ready to give up. We're like, no, we lost them. Let's just go home. And I'm like, wait, Tony, we gotta look one last time. And so I looked and I found them behind the seat. So literally like they had fallen behind like my driver's seat and they were behind some box. And I'm like, I got it.
I put this ticket in my bag, and I know I put this ticket in the bag, right? And night before, Jeremy's opened my bag and saw this ticket, and he's like, I think that moment he was maybe drunk or something. So anyway, he took this tickets because maybe it's not safe place. I have to put it in a better safe, a better place. You know what I mean? And he put it somewhere, and he literally forgot about this kind of things. And then I opened my bag, and we literally have to just pass the line, which was staying like spending already like 48 hours to get there. 48 hours. It was like super tired and everything. And I was like, I want to go home. I literally want to go home. Okay, no tickets. Like, they just literally disappeared from my bag because I remember I put in these tickets in my bag and then they just like literally disappeared because of somebody took it and put it in a better place. So,
well, the moral of the story is that we did get into Burning Man, and I'll tell you, like there were like all this crazy stuff. There was like the coolest art installations you'll ever see. So like there's this huge zone in the center and it's just like open desert, with like dust floating around. And you just like go around on like a bike or something. And it's just like huge, massive installations, like super cool shit that people built like over the whole year before, right? And it's like at nighttime, everything is like lit up, like crazy colors. There's some cool videos. But yeah, it was a very cool experience.
Jeremy, I have a question. Well, actually, for both of you guys, did you feel like it was like over commercialized or like over like invaded by influencers or like Instagrammers? I know you have no frame of reference, but were people on their phones like all the time or no?
No, I mean, I didn't really feel that. Like to me, because I think that the commercialization aspect, like if you're like, I guess I didn't really notice it as just another participant, you know? Because the idea is if people are not on their phones and they're authentically experiencing Burning Man, there will be zero information that gets out like about that other than like a blog post, because they're not taking pictures, you know what I mean? Whereas the information content from somebody who is on their phone more, like that's what's going to get out, right? Does that make sense? So
it's all about our content,
you
isn't
would
it?
see
Because
is
it's
the
all about selling
I
the
didn't-
city, the dream.
I didn't see any people on the phone because there is no internet, guys. There's literally no internet. So
It's
if
true.
you,
Wow.
it's like no internet over there. Like literally, like
Okay.
I don't remember that I have any like connections. I don't remember.
Yeah.
So there's like, you're not making
I mean, it's a
story.
desert, right?
Anything, you know?
It is a desert, exactly.
So no one posts anything about Burning Man until after Burning Man.
Basically, you know, there's like a few spots. I think there was one internet cafe place run by like some blockchain or Ethereum folks, and I went there and I tried to get internet and I couldn't. Like
Maybe
Yeah.
it's a satellite
That's
connection.
Yeah, so everyone
That's crazy.
out there, you give up on Wi-Fi.
yeah, it's great. Well, because
That probably what creates extra hype too.
True.
You're
know,
saying
because,
because you don't really know what's going on, you know, like because you can see it on the video, but like it's just totally different to be there in person. Because the way it works, every camp, right? So there's themed camps, and so it's literally like this entire city, and every themed camp has like a theme, and so they're kind of like they're not a business. They just offer you like, hey, we do this thing, like we make ice cream cones, you know, or like you can come here and drink tea and have conversation. There was one where you can like talk to a scientist or something like that. And there's some where like you can like meet celebrities, you know, there's like it's just nuts, like literally.
And interesting moment that
Or like you can play this like
I wanna
piano
mention-
that whenever you hit the piano, it like shoots fire, you know?
that some people who's making this camp, like some people like literally invest money to build a camp, and some people spend a lot of money every year. I remember I was talking with a lady, she's a doctor, and she said, I'm going to Burning Man every year, and for that this year I spent $25,000 to build a camp, just to build a camp, just like build
Yeah,
a
it's
camp,
like
you know what I mean?
it goes beyond a hobby. So
Yeah.
for some people, it's literally like that's their lifestyle. I mean, I would say many people, like, because each camp is just a big deal. You know, they really go and they're investing of themselves so much into the
Some-
I
camp.
talked to an
people
Uber
spend
driver
a lot of
and he was
money
telling me
there, a
that
lot of money.
he was a cook and he did like catering for a camp in Burning Man. And so like that's pretty hard to cook for people when there's so few resources.
Right.
Yeah. It seemed like quite a challenge. And it's what, like a week?
They probably
long, 10
have to
days?
like.
Yeah,
They probably have to
You have to
estimate,
bring
like, numbers.
everything.
Exactly.
They probably need to like look at the demand, like at the visitors, and probably they have like general guidelines by the festival, or like because like they have to provide some kind of like support, you know, like the organizers for small startups, businesses, and just people selling weird shit.
That's the thing. So Val, so it's Burning Man is not commercial. So actually, you're not allowed to involve money at all. So you buy a ticket that has a price, and then your purchase price of the ticket goes to the Burning Man Foundation, who is, like you said, that's core volunteers. And the only thing inside of Burning Man, which is it's actually not a festival, so they say don't call it a festival. I guess because festivals are commercialized, so I think that's the reason they don't want that. But basically, inside of the city, you can only buy coffee and ice. You can buy coffee or you can buy ice from like the main camp, and that's also Burning Man like volunteers. But otherwise, like you don't have money. So what they say is it's a gift economy. Like if you find out you're missing something, you can go to another camp and be like, hey guys, like we're crazy, we forgot something, but hey, like would you like to trade? And you can, you know, like everyone brings with him gifts. So you literally like one guy brought these like really cool necklaces and he just gifts it, you know. And so
Dude, I swear down, like Burning Man,
like something.
Yeah, Burning Man is like an ancient city, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
Babylon, you know?
It kind of is. Yeah, exactly.
Have you heard, you know, The Richest Man in Babylon? Have you read that book? It's like just like that when I imagine it in my head. Because it's like a book, like 4,000-year-old city, and how they like used to trade everything. They used to have walls around the city. They would live like in a desert, like next to the river, the Egyptian river. I forgot what it's called. Yeah.
I think it's really cool because it teaches you a little bit about economics. Like this is how economics actually works and trade. This is not how we've been conditioned to believe with like this paper money that we use for everything. It's like real things with real value.
Real value, yeah.
That's
You know,
what when
we
you
said that,
where you learn to negotiate, you know.
that's the thing, like, when you actually go to Burning Man,
down.
right? Like usually you're bringing all your stuff with you, so you don't have to trade too much. It's mostly like you go out and you're giving your gift, whatever that is. So the themed camps have like a theme, and that's the service that they provide that is free. Like you don't pay for it. So you go up and you get a free
it's like,
ice
hey
cream
guys,
cone.
do you go on us? It's like, guys, you go.
They want to give it to you. They're like, hey, take our free stuff. Like,
Yeah.
hey, like, you know, come get a massage for free, or like whatever it is, right? And so you literally just go around and then you give your free thing. And so it's a gift economy. And so because everyone is bringing with them for 10 days more than they need, they're literally bringing like gifts, right? And so because everyone brings to the playa more than they need, they literally have to give it away. And so there's an abundance. So the idea is that because everyone brings more than they need, there's such an abundance of stuff, you know, enough for 10 days that you don't really need to like trade or barter anyway. Like you're just, people will give you what they have extra because they don't need it because it's extra.
Do you choose a camp?
Yeah, so the way it works, you would find a camp that you like and you hanging out with those people for the most part, but then you go and explore the whole place and then you come back to camp, and usually like if the camp has a theme, you would do a volunteer session to kind of like, you know, that's paying forward your way of like giving your gift and bringing that, you know. But the rest of the time you just experience and you just, you know, everyone. Yeah.
Interesting.
So I'm excited. I'm tentatively planning to go this year. Like,
yeah, well, we'll see about this year, you know. So far, I mean, it's possible. Like,
guys, I believe that this year probably the Burning Man will be canceled. Yes, I know that is in August, like in the end of the August, September. Yeah. But the point is, people have to go, like a lot of people there 1 year before, like 8 months, 9 months there already, and build all this like composition and architect from the wood and everything like that. So. And right these days there is like literally no one, and I don't think they can make it because they need like literally this like 8 months, 9 months to build everything like that, you know. So
have you guys heard of do you guys know Rich Dad Poor Dad, you know, like the author behind that book, you know, like
yeah.
So basically he has like a podcast on YouTube that I watched yesterday, and he brings like financial experts from like the top markets and how they predict everything, and they're saying like this coronavirus, like at least in USA, it will create like a Great Depression for like the next 20 years. Like that's what they're talking about. Like like the companies that are suffering now, they will not recover for at least 20 years.
I see. Like, it's
That
interesting.
seems a bit excessive. 20 years
or technology at all?
Well, because they're looking at the past events and how long it took them to recover before. Maybe this would be shorter now just because of the technology we have available, you know, but like, I don't know.
Well, because we have a globalized economy that no longer matches what we had in the past, right? Like as long as manufacturing resumes in China and Southeast Asia, are like a lot of stuff's gonna resume pretty quickly.
I think a lot of like businesses will like are just like dropping like the flies right now, so we'll have a lot of areas to create new businesses in.
That's true. I mean, there will be opportunity for sure. That's
sure.
Yeah, if anything, I think technology will accelerate, and so actually, you know, you have all these like restaurants might fail somehow, and then a larger conglomerate such as like a new tech restaurant is going to buy that real estate and use it to scale with venture capital and basically be like a robot restaurant. You know what I'm saying? So like technology.
Yeah, could be. A lot of gyms are like that, you know, like there's a lot of gyms here in London. You pay only like £25 per month, really cheap. There's like no staff, like only like a cleaner and maybe like some personal trainers. And like you just like put your finger or like put it in a code, the doors automatically slide in. You just get in inside, closes, it like opens up in front of you. It's like all automated, you know. This could be with food and everything. Like Japan,
sounds like the Amazon Go store.
Those machines. Yeah, maybe, yeah. Oh yeah, like they opened one in Seattle, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, they got one in Seattle. They got one in New York too.
crazy, man. Interesting.
Yeah. Future AI technology. It's time to create.
Yeah, that's
For
the thing.
sure.
I think all these tech companies, like this is gonna be an incubation period where we're gonna see an explosion, right? Like at some point from all that.
Mm.
So yeah, man,
Jeremy, are
robots.
you-
I mean, robots don't get sick, right? So that's and they're cheaper. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't build them sooner, to be honest. But yeah.
But robots can get wet, you know. And
Okay, well,
Never heard that before.
robots have different problems.
You're wet.
Wait a minute, but Val, what do you what do you
Like, sexually
suggest?
or what?
huh?
Sexually? What wet are you talking about here?
Are you worried that water is gonna dump on them, or?
Just they're just gonna
It's
fall
true.
in the
So here's
water, man. Stop working.
That's right, but we so you'd think with robots, well, you got to fix the robots somehow, right? But here's the thing: you can use robots
I
to
think we'll
fix
become
robots.
robots, man. No, we'll
Uh-huh.
become robots, man. We'll become
Yeah,
cyborgs.
well, that'll be a longer time frame though, because the biology science needed to put robot parts in your body is that's still a few years out. But we already know how to build really good robot arms that can learn anything, and it's just a cost problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we can do something else in those few years.
Have you guys watched any cool robot movies
Everybody
lately?
should build like a robotic startup, or
I
want to do that.
heard Isaac Newton thought about the theory of relativity during the bubonic plague.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I heard that was when he came up with like a bunch of his theories during the plague.
That's right. Yeah, he was around during that time, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, this is
Right.
not nowhere near as deadly as the bubonic plague. So
But it's crazy, like
still,
there was this video by Bill Gates, how he made like a video 5 years ago on TED talking about the pandemic and how it's gonna how it's gonna fuck everything up and how we should like be prepared. Like we should be prepared if we act now. And now 5 years later, it's like, oh fuck. And now he looks like a genius because like it feels like he predicted the future. Like you can watch that video, it's crazy. He has like 20 million views. It's like just crazy watching it. It's like, damn, this guy, he knew everything.
Wow.
I think Bill Gates
Somebody
is
was watching
overrated.
Bill Gates this video, and then he's like, let me do something to the world. You know what I mean? Possible too, actually. And I don't know. I don't believe it's kind of like just happened. I think it's somebody did this who is like really smart and knows how everything
I don't know,
works. And
but that's the thing. Like all the people wanna think.
Yeah.
I feel like all the people wanna think, oh, like there's a cause behind it. You know, that someone that's responsible. Because people don't want to assume like, oh, shit like this just happens randomly. You know, oh, there's always this or there's always that. But I agree, like those wild markets. I think that's the issue, man. Like the wildlife, like they probably just like go in the Amazons and just like farm those animals on a massive scale. It's like these like species, all kinds. It's just crazy. You know,
Like
shut
I'm
everything down.
suspicious why Chinese these days close his hospitals. Is it literally build a hospital? So why they didn't everything happened? Why didn't he use like a stadion or something? Why they build the hospitals? And now they close the hospitals. So like what? They think it's never gonna happen again? Like
but it's crazy because when the virus started,
like,
it started in China. But it started in China, then it left. They cleaned it up, they closed it, and now China is good. Now the rest of the world is fucked. So now China can boost their economy even more. You know, like it's just.
I think it makes sense to be suspicious, but I mean, nobody's manufacturing viruses. We saw like SARS and MERS happen in the last 20 years. Nobody, like, I don't think you can just pull out a virus out of your pocket and then kill, thousands of your own
But there
citizens.
is a word, bioterrorism. I mean, the term exists, so I think it's possible for people to do that.
I'm not saying it's impossible. I just think that it's why wouldn't they just release it elsewhere? Like if you just had like a vial of virus, just go to like an airport or like some big event elsewhere. Why start in your own country?
Yeah, and it was in the same where the web market was 2 miles away from, or 20 miles away from the Center for Infectious Diseases Research Lab in Wuhan. Like,
There's some clues, you know. There's some clues.
Guys,
That
if
is
you're
like-
gonna actually Google it, Wuhan, it's not like just a town, like where there's like a few
It's
people
a
on it.
province.
It's literally
city.
it's like, excuse me, it's even like maybe bigger than San Francisco. A lot of skyscrapers and everything. It's like a town. Is a lot. With
Yeah, like in China, a small city is like a size of New York. You know.
yeah, I don't believe a word coming out of that regime for a minute. They say it's
Nah,
gone.
they're hiding everything, man.
Yeah.
I saw some videos where there were some like undercover reporters just like secretly filming and just talking with the locals, and like the security, there's like police everywhere, like there's like 4 cops for every single person or something crazy like that. It's like crazy statistically, there's like cops everywhere. And they just like, we're talking with some locals, there's just 2 guys in the road, and police, like 4 officers came, like, what are you guys doing? Why are you guys talking in a group? Like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Because just because they were hanging out, like just like 4 people just talking together, and like and a camera as well. But this because they were filming secretly and with a camera. So if they take their camera away, they have secret footage. You know, that's fucking crazy.
Government
like no
controls
freedom.
media.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different talk. There's a big difference in talking about China, the people, versus China, the government. Like when I criticize China, I'm only talking about the government. Like I feel really bad for the people, honestly. They're in a really bad situation.
Yeah.
Is it true? Like I saw a post on Facebook and it says like that China will impose like a death penalty for people who like will hide that they have coronavirus, like pretend that they don't have it even though they do. Like I don't know if it's true, but I saw a post, you know, I didn't like proof check.
I saw something where like they've seen some giant methane clouds over some cities in China that happened where you burn bodies, they create methane. So it may indicate that like they're cremating a lot of people
Makes
right
sense.
now. And the amount of like caskets that have been ordered by these casket companies have been like in the multi-thousands, like way more than.
Dude, I'm getting like Nazi vibes, bro. Like honestly, it's like World War II, bro. Dude, I swear down. It's fucking crazy, man.
Makes sense.
I mean, we still live in a world where we have like North Korea concentration camps, stuff in China's still. They also have work camps in the.
But that just shows how
side.
people are like underprepared, like how mediocre all the governments are, like just how like corrupt the system is. Even like from that bailout, you know, like they saying all the like senators sold all of their stocks before announcing the coronavirus like measures to the public. So they're all like walking out millionaires and just like so corrupt, man. I feel like when Trump is just talking with all of these guys, they're just like fucking secretly banking in like millions from those stocks, man. And man, dude, it's just crazy, man. And just Trump is just like avoiding everything. He's just like talking about his personal attacks with journalists and just avoiding all the responsibilities, you know, that people and all the questions that the public is asking. It's fucking crazy, man. But I'm not American, so don't take my opinion seriously. Because I know people get triggered about Trump all the time.
I think it's good to hear other people's opinions from other countries.
I just think that it's the lockdown's coming, you know. The US and Canada is going to be full lockdown.
Like a whole country one?
Yeah. I mean, look, we saw it in China in like January, right? And then 2 months later, it's here in Europe. You see Italy's on lockdown, Spain's on lockdown, Germany's on lockdown, France is on lockdown, Belgium's on lockdown.
California's on lockdown, right?
California's on lockdown, but it's going to happen to everyone. Like, honestly, I didn't expect it. I should have. I'm just saying it's happening for North America next. And it's normal not to expect it because everyone likes to think, oh, it couldn't happen here. No way. But it will. Like, it's the reality. Not like total lockdown where, you know, you can't leave, but it's going to be way more strict. And it's going to happen.
It's going to be worse. It's going to be worse. Yeah, it's going to be worse.
Well, so I'm actually curious, Gleb or, you know, Val. So in Europe, how do you think the governments, you know, in certain countries are handling it? Like, I don't know about France, or like, I'm not sure how close you guys are to, like, I don't know, some Denmark.
I feel
Norway,
like
some other
mainland
country.
Europe. Yeah, I feel like mainland Europe are kind of like following like really similar, you know, direct like similar steps, and everyone's kind of just taking notes from Italy, I think, just because like they're like the most affected. But I think UK is
Right.
taking a completely different like approach. Like we are under lockdown, but I feel like you can still go outside and like kind of do whatever you want. Really, it's all about just social distancing, you know. But like,
Mhm.
but then I go on the street, dude, I'm scared to go. Like, it's just like London is so packed. There's just like so many people. There's like a person in every fucking corner. Like, you feel like you're never alone, you know? You can
Yeah.
never be on the street alone in London, I feel like. There's always gonna be someone somewhere. So, man, it's crazy, you know? But you also, I think UK is super worried about the economy and just how to protect jobs. And with the Brexit going on as well, it's just like so much pressure.
Mhm.
Just so much change is just like underwhelming, like overwhelming. About
I think
the rest of Europe, I'm not really sure, you know.
I think a lot of the governments here are wishing that they could have taken more drastic measures earlier, but nobody wants to be the first guy to say, okay, we're gonna have to, you know, restrict people's freedom, because generally it's pretty poorly taken by the populations. But
Right.
I mean, Italy sure wishes that they would have imposed lockdown a week earlier. I think everyone else does.
Mm.
So, you know, seeing that they crossed 10,000 deaths today, you know, those are not insignificant numbers, and every hour, every day counts. So here they're announcing like stricter measures every like 2-3 days, either extending the lockdown or like making it harder to leave your house with like more, you need to have like a more justified reason. So I mean, people's morale is definitely the thing that's you have to fight against, because the reason people want to go outside is because they're feeling depressed or lonely, or, you know, and there's no solution to that. So I think as much as you can do in like actual measures, you can never like get people to feel as if they're connected to others. So I don't know. I think that's the problem to solve. It's like, I know that's what we're doing now, but how do you get people who are old doing this kind of thing? Or how do you get people who are already like socially isolated and who don't have many friends, who don't have many relatives?
What do you think? Like,
I agree with what you said there, Guled.
what do you think? What kind of issues? Like, what do you guys think? Like, what kind of issues would the coronavirus like will expose, or like what kind of changes do you think we'll see in the economy and the society in general? Like, what do you think? Because I think it will change so many industries, so many things in the world. What do you think will be affected the most?
Restaurants.
Restaurants?
Any business that has
remote
to pay
working
that has like rent right now is screwed. Like anyone who has to.
Now, what about? I think like remote
Real
will be a huge
estate.
change, and the healthcare systems around the world, I think, will be so much more better.
Like, are we supposed to? Are we required to pay rent next month or no? I keep struggling with that. I've heard people say that rent is just like getting waived next month. We don't have to pay it. And then other people say, yeah, you will have to anyway. If you don't, it'll just defer it to like like a 60-day period after the evictions are waived. But yeah,
I do
evictions.
think the safest bet is to, if you're going to consider something like that, just defer. So don't spend the money unless you absolutely need to, because it's possible you'll have to pay. So but you can save it, and that way you're covered in both cases. Or, you know, of course, it depends on your situation.
Yeah, I mean, I get paid still. I'm still getting paid the same amount. Still have my job. I have no reason to not pay rent, so I probably just will.
Okay. Yeah. As long as you can survive it well, then
I get a nice $200 stimulus check in the mail. You're looking forward to that soon.
Yeah.
I saw this meme the other day. It was like that this was a meme of like police bashing in someone's door, and it said, the text above the cop outside the house said coronavirus, and then inside the door they had like a door lock with a Cheeto stuffed between the lock and the door, and then the Cheeto said $1,200 stimulus check. That was like the only thing stopping the battering ram of the coronavirus from coming in the door. It's fucking funny.
I mean, I'm pretty impressed. Like, you can see how different political policies work, especially like North America versus Europe, because I was quite impressed to see in France they have a system called, it's like partial unemployment. So if your business needs to temporarily lay off workers, they can assign them this partial unemployment, and then government pays their paycheck up to like 85% of your salary, and that comes out of like unemployment, like that they have, tax money to spend. And I mean, obviously you can't do this like indefinitely, but I think people and businesses are not as worried here as they will be in the US if
I mean, that sounds like
down to
Because I want to say because first of all, France pay a lot of taxes, Some people literally prefer be like homeless in this country than have a job. You know what I mean? It's more easy to be a homeless than work. I know.
See, but that's a problem of
lot of
education,
people like who's like homeless, like, oh, I want to be a homeless because then I don't need to like pay money like for this, for that, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? So because the people pay a lot of taxes.
But that's a problem of education, basically, and like the skill of the laborers, I think.
Yeah. So it's kind of like good, and at the same time, it's kind of like a problem of defense. I think so, right?
Well, right now, it's people are relieved, I would say. I don't know. A lot of taxes is relative, right? Like Canada has a lot of taxes too. I'd say maybe it's the US that has fewer taxes rather than the other countries having a lot of taxes. But again, it's just perspective, right? Wherever you're from, however much you pay. Like I would say that my tax rate is probably that high. It's just my salary is lower than it would have been.
It's probably like at the end it always plays out like the economists.
What is your tax rate? Like what percentage of your salary do you end up giving over to Canada's?
9%. Well, 9% after like unemployment insurance tax and pensions tax. So like 9% is my income tax, but there's other amounts that I pay. If I did the math like all the way through to get an effective tax rate, it's probably closer to 20%. But my income is just not that high. So
if you're in the lower bracket, then maybe that's because that's probably lower than the US. I guess lower than
why I heard France pay like almost 40% of taxes. Is it true?
Well, I mean, if you're earning a lot, yeah, but it's harder here to earn a lot. That's also part of the Like I don't know, I don't have enough like people like friends in France who earn like more than 6 figures. It's harder here to earn a lot of money.
You have to.
As an employee, you need to be a manager if you want to earn a lot of money. It's still very like traditional.
I mean, it's most countries, right? I mean, USA too. I feel like most people are just like normal, working people. Just like restaurants, like normal jobs. It's just like normal people, cleaners, drivers, etc. We like the cool guys working from offices and making bank.
Wait, Val, are you saying that the average person is average? That's a very bold statement.
It's true. Maybe not. From where are you from, man? I'm sure like in your town, everyone is exceptional, Jeremy.
Yeah, everyone's special. Everyone's a special little snowflake in their own way. There's no one person is.
I believe that all human resources are underutilized at the moment.
That is
one
true.
of our most inefficiencies, like in our economy.
But that's because it's easy. It's easy. Like because people like it doesn't require change. You can maintain what you have, just living a mediocre life. You just pay your rent, you pay your bills, and you don't think about the big picture. And I think that's most people, because you don't have to, because it's okay like how it is right now.
Yeah. So
and at the end of the day, this is just in my opinion, it's an opportunity for of education, because I think no country is doing education that well, except for a few countries that are doing it well.
Yeah, that's why I asked, like, do you guys maybe you're gonna start like doing like education or courses? Because like that would be like smart, you know? Start like selling courses online. You know, you could sell them for like $300-400, like some YouTubers. They're making thousands. And then you have a channel for, you know, traffic. Maybe you can get some really smart people from Silicon Valley to come on the podcast or something. I can see
Actually,
Jeremy being
that's
doing
a great
podcasts.
segue, Val. Thank you. You know, because so we're actually planning on doing that. So it's kind of like, well, I guess we'll wrap up here. It's this call kind of in these next minutes.
It's kind of long.
But, like, one thing I want to say, like, we're gonna do more of these kind of calls, and we actually do want to bring people on to these calls and have more structure, and basically someone with some expertise that they want to talk about that's related to our channel. So kind of like tech and life in Silicon Valley, but it could be, you know, anything that is even adjacent to that, like tech or any kind of topics. So yeah, if you guys have some topics you think are interesting and would like to share, like we'd love to hear.
Yeah, I think you guys maybe you should create like a schedule or like a timetable, like so there's like a plan in the call, so we know like what kind of subjects are we covering and at what times and one of the speakers and when they get a time to speak.
Yeah.
So it's not like all over the place, you know. But that was like a great catch up, you know. Good to see you guys.
Like a call agenda.
And if you guys want to join us,
schedule.
just let's just do it, because I literally get this idea, and I told Jeremy this morning that like after this call we're gonna do this kind of like the next week starting doing this kind of videos and invite some interesting speakers talking about something about the tech, about their life, for example, in Silicon Valley, or the tech lives in London or in Paris. So it's kind of interesting, and people are kind of like sometimes interesting what the people doing these days, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And we all live in tech hubs per se. Like even Austin is growing in tech as well. They have a lot of entrepreneurs there. So I have a ton of people that I could bring on and offer their expertise.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody, like these days, a lot of like people moving from San Francisco, California to Texas, because there is like not that much taxes, and there has still really great salary, and you don't need to pay that much rent for their apartments and everything like that.
Oh, we know. Trust me, we know. Like y'all can tell them just to hold on, slow down a little bit. Don't come in such great numbers.
Right. It won't help, but we'll do our best. We'll say go to Bali and leave everyone in Austin alone.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Anyways, thanks for hosting, Jeremy and Tonia. It was really awesome initiative.
Thank you, guys.
And I'd love to join next time.
Good dude.
For sure.
Catch up with everyone and do our social. It's about, remember, it's physical distancing, but socially we should stay together, but have a great physical.
I feel more connected with you guys than ever.
Yeah, this has been great.
Okay, thank you.
All right, guys.
Okay,
take care.
ciao.
Ciao. Have a good day. Peace.
Bye-bye.